Yeah, yeah. Trying to get you more.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Just uploaded a new Instagram reel, and initially the plan was, it's actually just been uploaded now, that I was going to give you a 17-minute video of me editing. I've actually got live footage of me editing it. Realized it was unnecessary, and instead I'm basically going to be going through the project and how I actually made that video. Here is a clip of me trying to find music.
I'll show you.
Oh jeez, I can't find anything.
I feel righteous, blue sheets for them. Don't wanna let you feel strong. Coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna wear problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Why you gotta lie to? Tell them that you did when you try.
Without any further ado, let's hop into my After Effects timeline. Let me know if you guys actually want this project in the description. I used to download projects when I was learning to edit, and it was definitely very useful. We're at 1080p by 1920 at 50 FPS. I'm actually gonna try and export at 30 FPS, see how that looks. But to really appreciate all the small things, I feel like 50 and 60 FPS is a much better way to go. First things first, when I start editing, I obviously preview the clips I'm using, and then I then select the selection of the clip I want to be using, for example like this, and then I just drag into the timeline. The camera is not the greatest. It's a DJI Pocket 2. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description. It's basically a very small three-axis gimbal which you can put in your pocket. It records 4K at 60 FPS. The low light's not the best, but the sensor is actually pretty respectable. It's a pretty big sensor. Obviously, it's made by the same company that do, the drones, the big drones, the Mavic 2 Pro drones. But yeah, let's just go through each of the. Let's just go through the sequence. So the sequence is 11 seconds long. Obviously, because I've completely wiped my cache since exiting this project, we can't actually preview it as easily. But first things first. Let's go through the effects. When I'm editing, the effects will be the last thing I'm doing, but we're going to go backwards just so you can see. The effects I'm using is RSMB and Lumetri color, just a color grade. I was using a neutral color profile on the Pocket 2, so I had to compensate by adding color and all the little cinematic elements of a video. RSMB is a plugin made by let me check. RE Vision. They also do Twixtor, which is another thing which is going to be important, very crucial to this video. Twixtor and RSMB are basically, Twixtor will basically interpolate the frames and allow you to achieve this really cool slow motion, which you won't otherwise. It also it saved me a lot of times when I've accidentally recorded in 30 FPS and not actually been able to achieve that slow-mo without frame stuttering. Let's go into the pre-comp. So the first thing I'll do is I'll apply Twixtor to the clip, and then I'm going to pre-compose it. And when I've pre-composed it, let me just close these comps. There's a lot of comps you'll actually be using because of the amount of pre-composing you'll be doing. You've done is you've applied Twixtor to the original one. You've then pre-composed it, because pre-composing is going to allow you to fully utilize the power of Twixtor. And then what we're going to be doing is I selected a starting keyframe and then an ending keyframe of this clip. And what I've done is, if you go into the graph editor, let me make sure you guys can see this. You can see it, cool. Wait, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it, cool. And what you can see is I've actually selected both of these keyframes, and what I've done, this is probably one of the most iconic time remap graphs. Basically, it starts off quick, ends quick as well. One thing I'm not really happy with in the way that it turned out, obviously, you can't be too much of a perfectionist, is just how unlinked in terms of motion and continuity these two clips are. That's the first clip. Second clip, was obviously it's probably my favorite clip in the whole project. Same concept. We obviously applied lumetri color. So actually, let me put it up here. Hey guys, putting it up here this time. Anyway, it's probably my favorite clip in the whole thing. What we've done, it's very cool, is we've created this mask. So basically, the way it was before, let me delete the mask. So the way it was before is you had this pillar, which Harry was walking by. Let me just get rid of the mask so you can see this. Mask, delete, perfect. So you've got this pillar, which Harry was walking by, and as you can see, he walks past it. But the way I've done this is I've actually masked it into the next sequence, into the next clip. Another one of my clips which I really enjoy would have to be this one. So RSMB lumetri, just the standard. But essentially, what I've done, this is a pretty advanced version of speed ramping. We've got this speed ramp graph. Now, that's not the special part. That's pretty standard. But if you go into the pre-composed original sequence, which has obviously had Twixtor applied, you can see, if you press U on your keyboard, you can see these keyframes which I've manipulated. So I've started off with the scale being zoomed in, just to really exaggerate the plate being loaded on, and then the position is also, I think it's slightly going down. So I'm just trying to exaggerate that motion here, and then probably the coolest part of the whole video is this plate push, which is obviously I keyframed the position to almost move with Harry's pushing motion of the plate. Obviously the key guys is you have to have really nice footage originally. There's only so much you can do with bad footage, but this is what it looks like. Next up we've got and the way I'm actually transitioning these two clips is through the velocity graph. Now the velocity graph, as you can see, is ending quickly, well, somewhat quickly, relatively quickly, and then I'm starting the next clip with also the same, high velocity. But this is probably crucial. That timing map is a recurring theme between each clip, just to get that flow, and combined with Twixtor, you've got this consistent smoothness, which is just beautiful. So what I've done here is just basically the same concept. We've obviously manipulated this video by zooming in and zooming out with the bar, and then what I've done is I've added an adjustment layer. Now this adjustment layer just added so much flavor. It's probably more noticeable with the ABE, but as you can see here, it's adding this very, very subtle shake, and that was basically achieved by doing an amplitude of 0.7 in the S_shake settings. This is part of the Sapphire plugin. I'll be linking that in the description alongside the project and the RSMB and Twixtor plugins. I obviously tried using these this adjustment layer sparingly. I don't want to obviously overuse it, but also another really interesting use of position and scale keyframes would have to be the way I'm centering this ABE throughout the whole video. If you actually, let me just show you this, what it looked like before. If you actually look at the way that it's positioned, it's not actually being kept centered. So the way, obviously the key here is centering that object, which is going to allow you to get that really nice transition. Here's a tip: if you guys toggle title action safe, you can see the center of the clip and you can use that accordingly. Once again, I'm using a similar sort of style. Positions, scale and position keyframes are obviously crucial. Same thing, I'm highlighting the movement, zooming into the bottle, and then we're going down with the bottle, as you can see. Now, because we've actually got a null object here, we don't actually have any video here because it's obviously out of the frame. What I've done here is I've used a plugin called a motion tile. Now, motion tile is just going to fill in those blanks, as you can see here, mirroring the edges. and you want to tick mirror edges, obviously. Another recurring theme is obviously just tracking the motion, finding two clips which go really well together. For example, we're going down with a bottle and we're going down with a dumbbell at the bottom of the movement. And then what we're doing is we're centering that dumbbell and we're going into the next one here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what I'm doing with this dumbbell is I'm tracking it all the way with position and scale. Same concept. So if I had to sum up this video, it would have to be position and scale first. Make sure you position and scale first, just to really accentuate the movement in the clip. And then we apply Twixtor, and then we pre-compose, and then we do our time remapping. Anyways, I hope you guys found this valuable. So we're so close to 5,000 subscribers. I'd appreciate if you hit that sub button and that like button. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep creating reels. I've got a car reel coming up next. Let me know just the format of these videos, whether it's a good format, whether you'd prefer a live editing session, or whether you'd prefer just a breakdown. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. See you guys next time.